All right. Okay. We left off, we had gone through our tutorial level. We were just about to start Zone 2, Turnabout system. Four. Oh, this is Maya. Hey Maya, it's me. Mia, what's up? You haven't called in a while. Sorry, I've been so busy. How you been? Oh, only. It's all your fault. Ah, I'm just teasing. I've been great. I'm finally getting used to having my own place. That's good to hear. Actually, I'm calling because I have a favor to ask. I know. You want me to hold evidence for you? Sharp as always. There's a lot of buzz about the upcoming trial. Just don't feel safe keeping the evidence here. I got you. So, what is it this time? It's a clock. Clock? Yeah. You made it look like that statue, the Thinker, and it tells you the time. I thought you might like it. You always like toys. Hey, I'm not a little girl anymore, sis. No. You know, I'm only teasing. Ah, I should probably tell you, the clock isn't talking right now. Huh? Not working? That's lame. I had to take the clockwork out. Sorry. Put some papers inside it instead. Papers? Is that the evidence then? Well, there's a possibility that it might turn out that way, yes. Can you come by the office tonight, say 9 p.m. to pick it up? I'll be in a pre-trial meeting until then. Okay, sis, but I expect dinner. Something good. Like burgers. You could really go for a good burger. Okay. We'll hit the usual joint. Alright, it's a deal. Okay, sis, see you soon. Yep, be waiting, Maya. Conversation recorded, September 5, 9:27 a.m. Boy. September 5, 8:57 p.m. Fay & Co. Law Offices. Now, Miss Fay, I'll take what's mine. The papers. I'm sorry, but I can't give you what I don't have. Miss Fay, you're a poor liar. Why, I see it right over there. That must be the Thinker. Swallow those papers. How could you know? Oh, you are not cogniferous of my background. Gathering information is my business, you see. Should have been more careful. Oh, my dear Miss Fay, I'm so very... But I'm afraid I must ask you for one more thing. Your eternal silence. Farewell, Miss Fay. No. Boy. Oh boy. Red, white, blue. September 5, 9:08 p.m. Fay & Co. Law Offices. Uh-oh, I'm late. Huh, that's strange. Guess the chief left without me. She said her sister was coming over, so we should all go out for dinner. What's that smell? Blood? Mia! Maybe she's in her office. Oh boy. Examine or move? I mean, we could... Is there anything to examine for? I don't think there's anything to examine for. So bad. That smell. Blood. This... Someone's there. Chief! 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 Who are you? Strange girl ducked out cold. I left her lying on the office sofa. I went back to the chief, where she lay under the window. Her body was still warm. I could feel it when I held her shoulder. Then, all too quickly, it began to fade. Until finally she was cold. Oh. Chief. Alright, I have to examine body. Chief. Hard seeing her like this, but if there are any clues here, she was struck on the head with a blunt object. She probably died instantly. The thinker lying next to her must have been the murder weapon. The murder weapon looks like a statue, but it's actually a clock made by Larry Butts. The thinker added the court record. Not in court yet. There are some glass shards near the chief's body. There must be pieces of the glass light stand lying broken in the back of the room. Broken beyond all recognition. Okay. Nothing else that seems like a clue here. A piece of paper. It must have fallen from Mia's hand. What could it be? A word is written in blood on this scrap of paper. Maya? Did Mia write this? This piece of paper is a receipt from a department store, dated yesterday. Okay. I think that's enough sniffing around for now. I'd better call the police. Find out what that girl was doing there. Thinker merely examined it. It's encrusted with dried blood. How ironic that this became the murder weapon. Again. Well, the other one wasn't the murder weapon. Well, this was a different murder weapon than the murder weapon. Some shards of glass were scattered on the floor. They seemed to be the remains of a glass light stand. There was a large building right across from the office. The Gatewater Hotel. A nice, luxurious place. So it tells me I've already checked it. I can still check her. Painful to look, but I have to, for Mia's sake. Looked like she was hit in the head with a blunt weapon. She probably died instantly. Yes, I heard, okay. This... the chief's chair. Simple, functional design. Feels pretty good to sit in, too. Go around sitting in a chair. Okay, yes, there's nothing more to examine here. Apply from one room to the other, okay. Telephone. Right, I'd better call the police. That's funny. A few of the screws on the receiver are missing. It looks like someone was halfway through taking it apart. Police! Please come quick! What was that? Someone screaming from outside the window? She's staring right at me. She's holding a phone in her hand. Well, I guess the police are called. Alright, nothing in these shenanigans. Computer. Surprisingly, the chief was never good with machines. But all she used this PC for was email. She picked up this ancient model at some garage sale for practically nothing. All the chief's important documents are packed in here. This is where she filed her case records and recent rulings. A perfectly normal office desk. The chief had a very particular policy about office decor. Been big on stuff the clients use, but keep your own stuff simple. The Fay & Co. ledger book. Everything is written in the chief's ultra-neat handwriting. It's a small office, but it makes a good bit of money. Check this phone again. Phone receiver is missing a few screws. Better not use it. Okay, I'm gonna go back and check the other room. Oh. That girl just now. Where'd she go? I put her right there on that sofa. Uh-oh. Hope she didn't run on me. Yipes! Don't scare me like that. Excuse me, but who are you? Oh. Okay, I work here. Maya. Maya Fay. Maya Fay? Maya? So Mia was writing this girl's name. Maybe I should show her the receipt. Ooh, gruesome. Never thought that'd be used for evidence like this outside the courtroom. I mean... Hold on, let me look around the room real quick, right? The reception desk. I usually sit here. The receptionist? You couldn't cram more legal books in here even if you wanted to. You can gaze upon the shelf without feeling insignificant. All writing desk cluttered with office supplies. What goes here again? The door to the chief's office is slightly open. I'd better not touch the door now. Days after having touched everything else. A large painting. I guess you'd call this modern art. I, on the other hand, call it a mistake. Hey. This sofa is for clients. It's leather, a real luxury model. This will present last words her sister wrote. Before Mia died, she wrote a message with her own blood. She wrote it on the back of this receipt. That's my name. Why? Why would she write my name? Please, just calm down. Why would Sis write my name? Uh-oh, now I've done it. Oh boy. The police. Sounds like they're coming this way. Freeze! Police! Alright, I'm Detective Dick Gumshoe, see? Gumshoe? What an odd name. We received a report from the building across the way, see? Got a person saying they saw a murder. Must have been that woman I saw. Anyway, I don't want either of you moving 1 inch, okay? Great, just great. Maya. Wait, she wouldn't have... Nah. Whoa! Excuse me. Eek. This word Maya here mean anything to you? That's my name. What? Victim drew this here note in her own blood, see? With her dying breath, she wrote down the killer's name. Killer? I'm not... Case closed. You're coming down to the precinct, ma'am. What? Mia's younger sister, Maya, was arrested on the spot. I was taken in for questioning and didn't get out until the next morning. My eyes were heavy, but I couldn't sleep. sat around waiting for visiting hours to begin the detention center. I had to talk to Maya as soon as possible. September 6, 9:07 a.m. Detention Center, Visitor's Room. Wow, they have poor Maya locked up like a criminal. Oh, it's you, the lawyer. Good morning. Good morning. You look so tired. Are you going to be my attorney? Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Of course I will. First things first, I'd better get her cheered up. Yeah, of course I will. Cheer up. Really? Whoa, did I say the wrong thing? She looks sadder now. What's wrong? Don't think I can do it? No one could. Who would believe me? Even you, when you found me in the office, you looked at me like I had done it. Did I look at her like that? No, I never thought. Okay, I understand. And I've also heard about you. Heard? Heard what about me? I was talking to my sister on the phone the other day. Today was my junior partner's first time in court. Wow, really? How'd that go? It was quite the scene. Honestly, I was on edge the whole time. It's been a while. Oh, so he crashed and burned? Genius. One of those strike fear into the hearts of evil types. The only thing he's lacking is experience. Huh, sounds like it was fun. Well, I know who to go to if I ever get into trouble now. Well, Maya, I think you might want to wait. Give him 3 more years. That is, unless you want to be found guilty. That's what she said. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to insult you. Oh, it's okay. It's true, I guess. But at the same time, I can't just sit by and watch. When I think of the person who did this to Mia... No. Alright, oh, what am I gonna look around at? For the camera. This guard monitors the visitors' room. He hasn't moved an inch. A real pro, this guy. Almost like he's painted on. I leave. I want to. Present. What will I present to her? Talking. There's something I've been wanting to ask you. Yes? What's with that outfit? Oh, this? This is what all acolytes wear. It's my uniform, you could say. Acolytes? Like people in religious training? What is it you do? Oh, it's nothing strange, really. I'm a spirit medium. In training. Spirit medium? I'm pretty sure that qualifies as strange. Okay, fine. Tell me about spirit media. Oh, you're an acolyte. Medium in training. Right. The Fae family, especially the women, have always been very sensitive to the spirit world. Wait a second, you said the Fae family? Oh, Mia was into this stuff too? Of course! She left the mountain to follow her career, she said. Her powers were first class too. I had no idea. Wait. What? So you're a real, honest-to-goodness spirit medium with ESP and all that? Yes, in training. Well, can't you contact Mia's spirit then? You can just ask her who killed her. I'm sorry. I'm still in training. I couldn't do something on that level. I thought that would be too easy. Could you tell me about the day of the murder? Yes. Let's see. That morning, I got a call from my sister. She wanted me to hold on to a piece of evidence for an upcoming trial.
Evidence?
Yes, that clock shaped like the thinker.
The one Larry made. How could that have been evidence in a case?
Right. She said something about that. I remember. Want to hear it in her own voice?
Her own voice?
Yes. I'm pretty sure our conversation is on my cell phone.
Recorded it?
Yeah. I forgot how to delete those things.
So, you say you have a conversation with your sister on your cell phone. Let's hear it.
Right. Oh. I just remembered. A detective took my cell phone. Sorry.
Oh, right. Of course. Next time I see Detective Gumshoe, I'll ask him for it.
I'll write you a note so you don't forget, okay?
Sure, thanks. Conversation I had with my sister is recorded on my cell phone. Something the matter?
I was wondering, could I ask you a favor? This is the address of a famous lawyer. My sister gave me this a long time ago. She said if I was ever in trouble, I should call him. And, well, I'm in trouble. Do you think you could go ask him to represent me?
I mean, yeah, take care of her. It has Maya's recommendation. His recommendation. Yeah, I know, I got it mixed up. Sure, why not? I'll go ask.
Thank you so much. There's no one else to turn to.
Hey, what about your parents? I see. Don't worry. Leave it to me.
Thank you. The trial's tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
What? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
What if this guy refuses?
He told me that if I don't find one, the state will pick an attorney to defend me.
When will that happen?
They're giving me until 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Visiting hours are almost up. I better hurry. Right, I'll be back. Oh. Did you tell me about the day of the murder? Sorry, I know it must be hard.
No, it's okay. All I've been doing the last few hours is talking about it. I've kind of gotten used to it. Let's see, that morning I got a call from my sister. She wanted me to hold on to a piece of evidence for upcoming trial.
That's the finger clock that Larry made. Practically qualifies as a serial murderer by now. So then, when did you arrive at the office?
It was right around 9. The lights were off and I could smell blood. Then I found her, my sister.
Thanks, Maya. That's all I need to hear for now. Okay. Alright, let's move. Grossberg. Let's see what he says. Number 6, Grossberg Law Office. According to the receptionist, the big boss is out. He couldn't say when he'd be back. It must be hard to keep track of everything when you're a famous lawyer. Not to mention run an office like this. I guess we'll just have to come back later. Or, you know, snoop. I'll snoop. A table for clients. An elegant ebony case. And if I'm not mistaken, that lighter's made of solid gold. Even I can tell someone here's got money to burn. Expensive potted plant. No idea what kind of plant it is, but it's probably the most expensive one available. That painting has been bugging me ever since I stepped in here. The oil paint is so thick, it's practically giving me a stuffed nose. I'm sure the price is nothing to sneeze at either, for that matter. Expensive-looking mahogany bookshelves filled with expensive-looking books. Funny. They don't look like they've ever been read. solid mahogany desk. The wood's been polished to a deep luster. Okay, alright. All things examined. Go back to law offices. Make sure there's nothing there. Go back to Maya.